They had always marched in shadow. Ash blew east across the ridge where rusted banners clung to broken pylons. Every bootfall cracked bone dust. Every soldier's eyes fixed not on the enemy but on the sky. No war had been won on this soil without fire from above. The youngest among them had never seen it. Old stories spoke of the Hammer Star, Soul One, drifting silent in orbit, older than any living voice. It was cloaked in heat shields and etched symbols, its surface dotted with impact scars and blinking lights. They said it once held the power of 100 suns, though now it circled only once per day, patient as a god and twice as quiet. Atop the ridge stood the prophet, his armor dulled with the centuries. Hanging from his neck was the sun plate, a flat dish-shaped relic etched with celestial glyphs, its surface dimly pulsing with dormant light. It rested against his chest like a weight of old promises. He did not speak often, but when he did, the world remembered. Below him the field groaned. Dust clouds rolled over ancient bunkers. The enemy was coming. They were cloaked in scrap armor and torn banners. 5 fractured nations moving with a singular hunger. They called themselves the Inheritors, but the prophet had other names for them, none he said aloud. The drummers began their slow rhythm, each beat a request, each note a question. Would the sky answer today? The charge came suddenly, not a shout, just a surge. Metal on flesh, bone on steel, screams through broken helmets. The prophet did not move. Then the light came. It split the clouds like a sword strike, a rod falling from heaven trailing fire and thunder. When it struck, it did not explode. It erased. A swath of enemy lines in the entire Western Canyon simply ceased. Those who were looking at it directly went blind. Some fell to their knees and wept. That was the first. The Hammer Star moved overhead, its orbital path tracked by every eye and scanner. Its window was short, 7 minutes from zenith to fall off. 1 rod was usual, rarely 2. But the way the field burned, the way the enemy regrouped, it would not be enough. The prophet lowered his head. Across the field, casters lit like candles. The request was sent. The protocol spoken. His hand brushed the sunplate. Still, nothing came. Another push from the enemy. This time they broke the left flank. Screams, smoke thick with the scent of melted skin. The prophet issued another call. Nothing. The Hammer Star moved on. Past zenith, past permission. The light dimmed. And for a moment, everyone on that field felt alone. A dozen fell in retreat. One of the standard bearers began shouting curses, not at the enemy, but at the sky. The prophet said nothing. He stepped down from the ridge. The chain of the sunplate swung as he moved. He walked into the battlefield, slow and certain, as he had done before in other worlds, in other wars, when the sky still remembered its promises. Enemy fire curved around him. He did not duck. When the air shimmered beside him, some said they saw shapes, wings made of circuitry, the suggestion of voices beneath the wind. He reached the impact crater and knelt beside it, placed his hand on the cooled rim. With his other hand, he lifted the sun plate to the sky and closed his eyes. He issued the command. Not a broadcast this time. Not through channels or field keys. He spoke the old tongue, the language of alignment, of covenant written into machine code when humanity still shared breath with the stars. No one else could hear it, but the sky did. Soul One hesitated. It was imperceptible at first, a tremor in the wind, a static charge along the skin. Then the clouds stopped moving. The sun, halfway to setting, froze mid-descent. Shadows no longer stretched. They simply stayed. The Hammer Star had halted. A sound like groaning metal echoed across the planet. Some thought it was Skyquake. Others thought it was singing. Soul One began to shine. Then came the rods. Not 1, not 2. 7. Each one carved a new memory into the earth. Each one came faster than the last. Where they fell, the enemy dissolved. Not torn or burned, but erased as if written in the wrong story. Time rippled. One soldier threw a spear and watched it hang in midair for 3 full breaths before finishing its arc. Another blinked and saw the same bird flap its wings twice, then vanish. The field shimmered with possibility and collapsed. Some warriors fell to their knees. Others ran mad, shouting praises or tearing at their armor as visions took them. One looked into the light and said he saw the world before it was born. And in the middle of it all, the prophet remained still. Every rod that fell etched another glyph into his skin, light carving language into flesh. Blood ran from his ears. His voice faltered, then vanished. But he kept his hand on the earth, kept his mouth moving, kept the sun in place. The enemy broke, first in groups, then all at once. Their leaders tried to flee. some diving onto skiffs and others burrowing below. Soul One struck them last, not with fury, but with precision. When it was done, nothing moved. Smoke rose from the plains like incense from an altar. The prophet collapsed. His hand slipped from the rim of the crater. The sun plate dimmed, its glow fading as if spent. His armor hissed with residual heat. Some said his lips still moved, though no sound came. They did not bury him right away. They built a ring of ash and metal around his body and waited 7 days in silence until the first rain came. And when it did, it came sideways as if time still had not quite decided which way to go. Years later, pilgrims would walk that field. They would touch the cooled rod craters, still warm beneath the surface. They would stare into the sky and wonder if Soul One still listened, if there were other prophets in other alignments. None would be sure, but all of them would remember the day the sun did not move. Not for kings, not for armies, not for planets, but for a man with a voice the sky could not ignore.